Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. It is I guess it's Wednesday today, isn't it? Well, Nvidia had its earnings, and quite a surprise. It's very interesting how it played out. The stock pulled back into, at the end of the day, pulled back, and then boom, it came through, and it looks like it's moving up very, very nicely. So it's going to be probably a good time to get into Nvidia tomorrow. And I wouldn't do it right at the open. I wouldn't do it right at the open. I would wait a little bit, and then possibly go in after the open, because I think they're going to get a really good. We're going to get a really good bounce, and it probably could come. Can move higher. I haven't reviewed the earnings or anything like that. I haven't reviewed any of the earnings statements yet, but it looks like it's going to be pretty good. And Nvidia is really a leader. There's three stocks that I'm just really excited about right now. Of course, Tesla's in there, Nvidia, and then the Trade Desk. Those are the three that I really, really like. By the way, I have also on stocks that I don't like, I have ways to make money on that too. And I have a very nice bear put spread on Zillow. It's kind of the second chance. When we did the first one, that was so successful that I think I'm going to put on another one. If you're interested in it and you're looking on the TikTok, just go to my profile, click on the link that says Beacons, and then you'll see it. There's a button that you can push to see this bear put spread trade that I have. So it hopefully will do really, really well. We will see. By the way, if you are looking on TikTok, super easy. I'm going to be showing charts here. Unfortunately, I can't do that on TikTok directly, but I can do it on YouTube, and that is right at this address. So if you want to see all the charts and everything as I'm talking, just go to https://bit.ly/DTF424. This is show number 424. So thanks, and without further ado, let's get into some of the slides. All right. Well, interesting deal with Nvidia. Nvidia prices did slip 5% below, 5% right before. It looks like they've turned around and they are moving higher. So very interesting movement on this. This is a good opportunity. We probably can jump into Nvidia tomorrow and do well. The reason, of course, I think that this happened, I mean, who knows? It's all speculation, but it looks as if there were a lot of day traders in the issue, that were going to sell right before the close, and I think that's what happened. But I think it's going to power higher. We shall see. We'll take a look at this chart here in a second after get through some of the other things here. Just wanted to give you an overview on the overall market. Off a little bit today. The Dow is down about 0.5%, S&P about 0.25%, and the Nasdaq about 33%. So about a third of a percent. So a little bit, kind of a sideways day today, but I think some of our stocks are probably going to be doing pretty darn well. Just wanted to show you the one stock that I did buy today, and of course that's Apple. And Apple did move through this very critical. I was waiting for this and waiting for this and waiting for this to move through that 150 level, and it did. So when it did, I moved into it. Volumes up 13%. Hopefully we can, we had this basing period for Apple, and hopefully it's going to move higher now that it's through this period. So that's kind of what I'm hoping with Apple. I did buy a full position in just one portfolio, but I like, I've always liked Apple. Very, very good stock. And I think this might give a good green light to buy it once again. I had sold it off, basically was waiting for this turn. We have this turn today. Apple turned higher, so that's looking good. Above average volume. And of course, this is one of the biggest stocks in the world. So a little bit after I was 12 cents, but I'm confident now that we've pulled through this 150 level, this 150 ceiling. I think we're going to go higher with Apple. That's my hope anyways. Just wanted to show you Tesla. Tesla regained a lot of its, it basically, the way Tesla is trading currently is that we have some support right about 1,000 here. It did come down, it's adjusted, it's bounced, and now I think it's retaking it back to kind of where it was before. It still is. We still aren't out of the woods, but what happened with Tesla is it just came out of the gate too quickly, moved up, and then pulled back. I've been buying, and I did sell into strength, and then I reduced my position, and then I started to move back in it. I'm a very strong believer in Tesla, but the problem, of course, is the way it trades. It's just trading very, very volatile. But I do think that we have some support at the round numbers. I think that there is some support at 1,000, and it seems as if, if we move past 1,100, possibly tomorrow, then I think it will move back up, possibly to the 1,200 level. It got a little bit ahead of itself, but I do think that, with a 96 relative strength, I'm very, very bullish on Tesla still. It's just, it's the question is where to buy it and how to sell it into strength. That's the real rub with Tesla. Down a little bit after hours, about $1.81. That's really not a lot. Still, it has an incredible composite rating of 98. The volume was incredible as well. 3.31 million shares with the volume today. That's $3 billion in changing hands today in Tesla shares. Absolutely incredible. All right, so let's go back here. And again, this is the Nvidia chart. As you can see, this is taken right after the close. It pulled back. These were the day traders in it. Pulled back down about 3%. Actually, right before when I made the slide, it was at 5% down. And then I took the slide 3% down, and now it's moving up. As you can see, it just, a lot of day traders just dropped out, and now it's off to the races. I do think that this 300 level is very significant. If it can hold above this 300 level tomorrow, I think it's probably going higher. That's my guess. I think, I think by the end of the day, we should see at least 305, maybe as much as 310. So it might be a good opportunity tomorrow. I'm going to be monitoring it very, very closely. By the way, if you want to get in on the trade as we're doing them, we do have a Discord service, a Discord room, and it's really good because a lot of really good traders in there, and can help you, getting into these, because it's not just enough to have the right stock. You got to have the good entries. If you're interested in that service, super duper easy, and you're on TikTok, just go to my profile, click the link where it says Beacons, and then you'll see the button that says Special Discord Service. Just click on that, and you'll be good to go. Here are the stocks that I'm currently in. CRM, of course, that's up a little bit today. Robert Half is down, but it's up overall. I'm just holding this. It's doing quite nicely. QQQ is up a little bit. In Innovative Industrial Products, down somewhat, but up in volume, so I don't know what's going on there. Ford is chugging along. Also Tesla. Tesla and Ford are really my two picks for the automotive stocks right now. I'm holding both of them. Shoe Carnival, it's down a little bit, but I'm still really liking Shoe Carnival. It's down about 10 cents, but the volume was up. So there may be some sell-off as of, they had great earnings, by the way. Shoe Carnival had some great earnings. And I think a lot of people, it's a question of just buying rumor, selling news. I think a little bit of people are selling in news. I'm going to be holding Shoe Carnival because I still like it. I think we're going in to one of the strongest seasons. Of course, that is the Christmas season. So I think a lot of people will be buying shoes. ASML down a little bit. It's just kind of poking along, not a whole lot of action on it. Rambus is up. This is, of course, a chip stock that I kind of like. TTD is down a little bit today, 3%. I still really, really like this stock, but it moved up very quickly, and it's adjusting. I've bought 3 positions in this one. I really, really like it. It's definitely on my watch list there. Blink Charging, another nice day for Blink. Blink seems to be getting in the charging space, seems to be getting a lot of the love. Nike is basically flat. I mean, 5 cents, that's nothing for Nike. Ultra Clean, it's down a little bit. Of course, this is in the chip manufacturing space, very good space. Tilly's, it's down about 36 cents, but I still believe in Tilly's. This is a retail store that a lot of people like, and I've seen around, and I think it's going to do well. Of course, Apple's up today too. So those are kind of the good, the bad, and the ugly. I love that. I love that movie. That was my favorite films. Let's see how we're doing on the bear put spread. on what I call the second chance bear put spread on Zillow. This is one I think that might really work well for a lot of people. This is actually the I think this is this is as of today. This is the original spread. I didn't have time to put up the secondary spread. It's very similar to this, but this is the original spread that we put on a few days ago. As you can see, it's just making nice progress as Zillow is going down. Our fortunes are going up. So I do think on this one it's really good. I do have the second chance spread on this one that you might be interested in. That's one I put on a second spread on it up today. I'll just kind of show you that too. This is kind of a complicated address, but if you go to this address, this will get you the slide deck and everything. It's sinfox.com/LP/3QP60G. I know that's really hard to remember. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, just kind of be proactive on that. So I'll put that up on the, I'll put that up on the chat as well. I think I could put that. I think I could put that one up on the banners. Let's see if I have that. I think I have the banner for that one. Let's see if I do. I made that. So, okay. All right. So let's edit that and let's see if we can put that on there. Oh yes, good deal. It was in the cache. It was saved in the cache. So if you're interested in the and I'll leave this up on the screen for a while. If you're interested in the put spread on the new put spread on Zillow, this is the bear put spread. It's this address here. So I'll kind of leave that up here just for a second so people can guide it and get it. If you can get this one. If you're looking on TikTok, you can see the same spread directly. Just go to my profile, click on link beacons, and then you'll see it. It says second chance bear put spread on Zillow. So without further ado, let's get into some of the questions. Thank you everybody for waiting. And the first question is from Jay. Let's look at Facebook. Facebook, or as it's now called, Meta. Oops. It's now called Meta. I don't know. It's somebody told me, I don't know if this is true, but they say to if you're interested in this, you should get Ready Player One. For some reason I'm having an issue here. Hold on. My live feed is doing weird stuff. So let's see if we can get. I've got to. If we can get back to it. Hold on one sec. Sorry, put the black screen there. Wow. Okay. Well, what is going on? What is going on, folks? So let me. Oh, there we go. Okay. Whew. Weird. Sometimes it gets hung up, and I can't figure all this stuff out. Let me pull up the charts and get that up there. So we can do some stock research here. I always like to do that. So there we go. And we're going to look at Facebook first. Of course, that's Meta platforms. So here we go. There we go. Oh, wrong one. Let's see if I can get it. Let's see if I can get it right. Third time's a charm. So they say. Okay. There. Finally, we're at Meta platforms. What do I look? I'm looking here at the weekly chart. Kind of the, what's the beef here? Well, I don't know. I can't really say this is a perfect entry. What I would like to see, if I wasn't in the stock right now, I'd kind of want to see at least it move above that 350. Other than that, the checklist is excellent, 89. So that's very good. The only thing it's lagging on is the relative strength. The relative strength is 62. The question is it improving against the S&P 500 line? Well, no, it's kind of holding its own. The earnings were good. The question is, can you get in here? Yes, you probably can, because it does look like this was the reversal. It kind of came down here. It basically hit here at about 317 and then bounced higher. So the question is, can you get in it? Well, here's the thing. I would probably wait until it was above about 350 to get back into it. It has had this consolidation period. I think, there definitely is a move between 350 and possibly 384, 385 before it comes under any resistance. So as long as it seems to be moving higher. Now, it has pulled back for the last 2 days, and after hours, it's off just slightly. I mean, 6 cents, that's really nothing. So here's the thing I would say on Facebook. Meta. I think you could buy it, but I'd wait until it was above. I really would wait until it's above 350. So I really think it's the possible. Facebook is a possible buy above 350. So that's kind of how I see it. That's kind of how I see it with this with Facebook right now. I just want to see some more strength. Oops. I just want to see some more strength in Facebook before anything else happens here. I think it's a possible buy, but only above 350. So that's kind of how I'm looking at. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. All right, let's take a look at ISRG, Intuitive Surgical, interesting company, ISRG, and of course, as probably everybody knows, if they've been following Intuitive Surgical, they have a product called the Da Vinci robotic. It's a robotic surgery machine. That's really the only way I can say it. And that's really what's been powering their growth. It's minimally invasive. It's just absolutely state of the art. Really, really cool product. Right now, the buy point for Intuitive Surgical is right here at 362.30. So we're right below the pivot. So can you buy it here? Yes, I do believe you can. This is looking very good. It's got an extremely strong checklist at 100%. Here's what I would do. This is a buy right now. So I definitely think you can buy Intuitive Surgical. This is a real leader. So this is the kind of stock. Here's what you do. So ISRG is a long-term leader. And so what do I mean by that? Well, here's the thing. There are certain kind of stocks. There's what I could consider trading stocks, and then there are long-term leaders. Now, this one is a long-term leader. This is a long-term leader. So why is that so important? Well, here's why. Because when you're looking at a long-term leader, you want to look at the fundamental analysis. Now, most of the time, I'm doing technical analysis. Most of the time here, I'm doing technical analysis. But in this case, and I want you to look over to the left-hand side of the screen here in these little boxes. This is fundamental analysis. Here's basically, this is what you're taught in school. This is like, earnings and sales and that kind of thing. So in fundamental analysis, what we want to see typically is we want to see a sales increase of more than 20% for really, really top stock. We want to see sales increasing quarter over quarter over 20%. Now, with Intuitive Surgical, it's done that for the last 3 months. And, they will be having earnings on the 21st of January. That's the next earnings. Their last earnings were stellar. Their profits were up 29%. Their sales were up 30%. This is right in the zone. So my guess is with this kind of fundamentals, you're going to see it kind of track on this very, very nice, very, very nice slope here. Now, here's the thing. It's not enough to have good fundamentals. We want to have good technicals too. So that's where we're going to switch back to the daily chart, and we're going to look for buying opportunities. Now, the best buying opportunity is out of a base formation. And indeed, we have a base formation. It's called a consolidation. And the range that this intuitive surgical is consolidating in is from 321 up to 362. Now, what happened was it consolidated, it went up to the buy point, and then it pulled back. And why did it pull back? Well, because there was resistance there. Because it came up that high, and then all of a sudden, everybody was taking the bid prices and not the ask prices. In other words, the weak hands were shaken out. That's what they call it in Cansom investing. The weak hands were shaken out. Now the question is, were enough weak hands shaken out? It does look like, it's going to do a second try, but what's happened is it's right, as you can see, it's right below that pivot. 362.30 is the buy point or the pivot, and currently it's trading at 361.42, which is right below that. So it's getting some resistance there. Now, if you wanted to safely buy this on higher volume, here's how I would do this. I do think this is absolutely a buyable stock. As you can see, it has 100% on the checklist. This is excellent. Here's how I would automatically buy this stock. What you can do is there's a special kind of order. There's a special kind of order that you, let's don't get that. There's a special kind of order that you can put in. It's called a buy stop limit order. And for intuitive circle, for ISRG, what I would do is I would set the stop equal to the pivot, the buy point, 362.30. So I would set that at 362.30. And then I would set the limit equal to 362.40. Okay, that's only 10 cents above where the stop would be. Now, what am I saying? Well, Jim, what are you saying? It's so complicated. Well, not really. Basically, what this will do is this will offer to buy shares at 363.40 if the stock moves above 362.30. And the reason you want to do it that way is because you want it to clear this resistance. So what's going to happen is it's going to come up on the resistance. It's going to butt heads a little bit, and then eventually it's going to move through it. And when it moves through it, that's where you want to buy it. And this will automatically buy it. So I think this is a great stock, good time to buy it. And, you could definitely do very, very well by doing a buy stop limit order on the stock. So there you go. All right, let's look at BA and Apple. I'm going to look at Apple first because I did buy Apple today. And the reason I bought Apple is because it moved through a very critical critical resistance, and I want to kind of show you that on the chart. This is the weekly chart. As you can see, it's right into the buy zone. Now I'm going to go to the daily view here, and we're going to take a look at it. As you can see, there is a buy point here, which is indicated. Let's see if I can get it to indicate at 353.16. Now, currently it's 353.63, so it's right above the buy point. But actually, the real resistance is a little bit below that, about 150. I bought it basically as it moved through. Let's see if I can. Let's see if I can get the wrench up here. Let me use the markup tool here, so that I can hopefully. Oh no, it's not going to let me. Let's go over here. Let's see if it lets me. Yeah, it's not going to let me. I sometimes it's a little bit tricky, but anyways, I bought a full position here as it moved through this resistance, and as you can see, it moved up very nicely, and then it's continuing to move after hours. So I definitely think now that we've moved through this resistance, Apple is very likely to move higher. Now, can you still buy Apple? Absolutely, because we're within 5% of this very critical buy point at 153.16. So definitely can buy it. Excellent timing to buy it right now. It's based out, so it's looking very good. Now, unfortunately, Boeing is not as good a situation. Boeing, I am not as bullish on, obviously, as Apple. So I would skip buying Boeing. And the reason I would skip buying Boeing is because it still is in this downward trend. Now, it did reverse above the reversal line, and it's right at approximately at the 200-day moving range. But right now, you don't want to buy. It's not a buy for Boeing. You just don't want to do it. It's only got a 56 checklist. So here's my kind of 2 cents on Boeing. Apple is a definite yes, but Boeing, BA is not viable right now. And I know that comes to a shock because Boeing is the biggest stock in Boeing is the biggest stock in the Dow. It's the biggest stock in the Dow, but it is absolutely not viable. And it's just, this is not the trend you want to buy. This is a downward trend. And these downward trends, you just don't want to get into them as they're moving downward. So right now, I would say, Apple's looking good. Boeing, not so much. I wish it was better. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Let's take a look at some questions from TikTok. Thanks for coming on. Okay, please give the name. What do you think about Lucid? Lucid. Well, it's like Rivian. Let's look at two of those. I want to look at Lucid and one Rivian, but let's look at Rivian first. RV. This is why you don't want to buy initially when the IPO comes out. RIVN. I think that is the symbol. Or is it RVLN? Let me get that. All right. Oh, not recognized. RIV. I think it's RIVN. I think that's it. Yeah. Oh, Rivian Automotive. Yeah. Okay. So this is a stock. This is a chart that I want to show you. This is the danger of buying an IPO before it's seasoned. Okay. This is unfortunately this is the danger of buying a stock before it's seasoned. Now, hopefully, it'll show here. Relative strength of one. I don't know why I'm not getting a bar here. Hold on. Should be getting a bar here. But basically, and I don't think it really showed it. For some reason, I'm not getting a feed on this, but basically, it went up to way up here, in the 200 levels, and it's pulled back. Let's look at Lucid. The only thing with these, here we go, Lucid Group. And you can see there's a pullback, significant pullback on Lucid today. And part of the reason is that, it was making nice progress. It came above the higher high. It pushed up very nicely, but then it's pulled back. So here's the thing. I think that your better bet here is to not buy Lucid. Not that it's not a good company, but they just haven't really proven themselves. Competition in the EV space is getting very, very intense. I do believe that instead of buying Lucid, I bought Ford instead. Now, Ford can actually deliver its vehicles. As you can see, it's up today, and it's also relatively inexpensive stock considering how significant a company it is. I think that Ford is likely to do very, very well in the EV space. And I would buy it over at Rivian. Now, basically, the two automotive stocks that I hold are are Ford and Tesla. And those are the two that I own, because I do think that they have possibly the better of the not only the better charts but the better prospects. All right. Hello, Jim. Always look for. Oh, thank you very much, Ricky. Appreciate it so much. Thoughts on Rivian and Lucid? Yeah. The thing about Ricky on Rivian and Lucid, I think the EV space is a tremendous space, but I really think that we're going to have issues because there's just so much competition. And right now, I think I would try to stick to what I consider the two of the strongest, and that would be Ford and Ford and Tesla. And Tesla moved very nicely today. All right, let's look at Palantir as well. I was in this one earlier this year. I haven't been out of it. I was shaken out of Palantir. It seems to be having trouble holding above the 40-day line. That's the key with that. It made an attempt and then boom, it had its earnings. And this is a classic case of buy and rumor, sell and news. These earnings weren't bad. So fundamentally, this is a good stock. Look at it. It's going up more than 20%. More than 20% in sales every quarter. So fundamentally, this is a good stock. But here's the thing. There's a thing they always say: buy on fundamentals and technicals, sell on technicals. Right now, it's sort of in this consolidation between here and here, between about 22 and about 30. It's sort of in this range. I do think it's going to pull down. It probably is going to bounce at about 22 or 20. And then once it gets support, and I think it's going to get support a little bit lower, it will start to move higher again. But until it can break out, and it really hasn't been able to do that, above about 28 or 29, I think it's going to be in this range. So, that's the kind of thing. You kind of look at the chart. You could probably make money in this one. It comes down, it reverses, you buy it, you then sell it as it gets to the top, and then rinse and repeat. But right now, Palantir, I'm not in Palantir, and I'm looking at, really better opportunities than Palantir. Just wanted to look at the NASDAQ overall, because I do think that, we've got a very nice bounce. I think that we're moving, we're still moving very, very well in this market. But I want to make sure that we're not getting overextended, because I have been making a lot of buys, and usually when this happens, I'm always leery, because sometimes it's just too much stuff. So I want to kind of look at the Dow Jones. This is the composite for the entire Dow Jones. I'm going to look at the Dow Jones. This is looking pretty good, but it's moving up very nicely here on the weekly chart. So I'm pretty confident. Now I also want to look at the NASDAQ. Let's see. NASDAQ composite. This is the entire NASDAQ. So here's what's happening. We seem to have, on the NASDAQ in general, we seem to have some resistance right here at 1600. Currently, we're currently right below there. We're 15,921, so we're just about as close as you can get. I do think it looks as if we will probably, towards the end of the week, I think we're going to break 16,000. But if we can't, it's probably going to pull back. So I think you got to be a little bit, last few days I've been buying. I've got to get a little bit more cautious about making buys here, just because of the way the whole index is trading. But let's look at, so I know I'm yammering on here, and I don't hear it. Let's look at Robinhood. And Robinhood is very interesting, but I don't really like their chart. Ouch, look at this. It's all the way down. We can't really buy this thing. This is the unfortunate thing when you get, the thing with movement in stocks is it's just kind of like, it's almost like Isaac Newton's law of motion. Object in motion tends to stay in motion. If it tends to be going down, well, the tendency is for it to go further down. So that's one of the reasons we always want to try to buy if this price action is in a genuinely trend up. Right now, with Robinhood, the trend is downwards, as you can see. just downwards, downwards, downwards. So we really don't want to buy this thing. It's got a relative strength of 12. So it just isn't time for this one. It's everything in its time. But the checklist is not good. So here's the thing: if you're down more than 7% on Robinhood, consider selling it. I would not buy this stock right now. I want to see it move above. You see, you always want to buy stock as it's on its higher high. Right now, that would be about 47. So in order to buy this, I'm going to draw this trend line here, and this trend line is what they call the reversal line. And the reason this is so important, oops, did it not? There it didn't go. Hold on, let's pull that reversal line again. So what am I doing here? Well, what I'm doing here is I'm creating this. Oops, it didn't let me do that. Should let me draw this trend line. Set the alert, and I want to draw a line. This is the reversal line. Moves above the reversal line. Oh, this is a way that you can see overall. No, it didn't work. This is the way you can see overall how it's trending. Right now, Robinhood, Farouk, unfortunately, it's trending downwards. Don't catch a falling knife on this one. It's not worth it. So right now for Hood, so don't buy Hood. Don't catch. Don't buy Hood. I mean, that's just really that's just really the message that this chart is telling me, is just don't buy this one because it's got a downward trend, and boy, downward trends. There's so many stocks that have good upward trends. You don't need to be fooling with stocks that have a downward trend. It's not a good look. Supernova Partners, SNII, Spark Supernova Partners, going public parabolic. Okay, let's look, Michael. Let's check it out. Let's do what they call. This is what I call doing the smell test. Yeah. So SNII. So let's see if it is going parabolic. Supernova Partners. Let's see if it's supernovaing. Well, it is trending up. That's for sure. It's a penny stock. Michael, just something. There is a buy point on it. It's extended above the buy point. There is a flat-based buy point at 1039 on this stock. It is above that. Above that buy point. It's in a buy zone. Would I buy this thing? Maybe. But you know what? I really don't like these SPACs. I just don't like them. It's got a 56 checklist. Really, the problem with the problem with the SPAC is, there's no earnings. There's nothing here. I mean, yes, they may invest in something great. I know that people have told you this, but you don't buy this one. Because it isn't worth. I mean, there's just so many other ones that are in. There's so many other ones that are in better shape than this. Okay, yes, it's come up above the buy point, but it's a blank check company, and it's really in a bad part of the market. Out of the entire stock market, there's 197 divisions. This is 152 of them. So it's really in the bottom. It's in the bottom of the barrel. So why buy this one? Buy the ones that are winners. Let's look for some winners. That's not a winner. I'm sorry, Michael, but I'm not trying to get on your case. I mean, I understand. People, and it might become one in the future. But here's the thing: don't try to anticipate. Try to buy the winners. Try to buy the groups in the market that are the strongest. And so let's look at the strongest parts of the market right now. This is a little thing I do. The strongest for the practically forever, the strongest part of the market is energy coal. So that's number one. Number two, semiconductors. Number three, retail. number 4 oil, number 4 computer software. This is kind of where you want to look because, and automobile manufacturers. That's why I own Tesla and Ford, because it's very, very strong. It went from being basically ranked 6 months ago 175 to basically, no, I'm sorry, automobile manufacturing. 6 months ago, this was rated 179. So basically in the bottom half of 197 in terms of the number of divisions of the stock market. Right now, it's number 8. So this is a very, very good place to look for things to buy. So this is where the strength is, folks. The strength isn't in SPACs. The strength is in these stocks. So here's where we want to look. We want to look at something like retail department stores, believe it or not, because right now this chart is actually a very good chart. This chart is the kind of thing we want to see. So what can we do? Well, one of the stocks that I've been following, and I think you might want to take a look at too, is Kohl's. It's KSS. And I believe that they did have their earnings and it did pull back. Nope, it's a 1 day. Wouldn't buy it until it comes to earnings, but very, very likely this is going to bounce higher, folks. Kohl's. Now, I wouldn't buy it today. Why? Because we're coming into earnings. You don't want to buy into earnings. You want to have a 10% cushion coming into earnings. But this one, which is in a top sector of the economy, this is the kind of ones that you want to buy. You want to buy in the best sectors that you can in the economy. So right now, retail department stores is looking very, very good. Now, 6 months ago, this was number 2, and then it's number 3 last week, and 3 months ago it was number 1. So retail department stores, believe it or not, for the last 6 months have been a great place to invest. They have outperformed the market. Same is true, of course, with the oil and gas. So where should we go? Well, I think that, let's look at the ones in the top 20, really from here up. Let's look at these subdivisions of the economy. I want to find the best in these areas. So let's look at the computer software companies and see if there's anything that's setting up well in the computer software companies. Of course, CrowdStrike's number 1, but Fortinet, this one has been the computer software security area is still one of the great areas of the market. I think to take a look at Zscaler to see if that's viable. No, unfortunately, it's very extended. Tough to buy in this area. FTNT, Fortinet is just on a tear. Unfortunately, I sold my position in this. Probably shouldn't have. It's just been fabulous. This has just been a fabulous stock. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. This is viable. So instead of buying, buy fewer shares of a stock that's in a better section of the market. Right now, FTNT is buyable off of this consolidation. So you could buy this one right now. This is an actionable stock. Okay, this is an actionable stock in the top of the market. So these are the kind of stocks you want to look for in the market. You don't want to buy the laggards. You want to buy the leaders. This is definitely a leader. FTNT, and good thing possibly to buy. All right, let's look at Ellie. Thank you very much, Ella. Let's look at APO and Nordstrom. NRDS. Let's look at NRDS first. NRDS. And this is solutions. Oh, interesting. Okay. Financial services specialty. I like that. This is an IPO. Okay, so NerdWallet. Here's the thing I would say about NerdWallet. I'm not familiar with this stock yet. It's an IPO. On IPOs, you want to wait about 3 months before you buy it. That's just the key, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But for right now, it's definitely watch listable. But for IPOs, wait about 3 months and see how it is trading before you buy. And there's a lot of reasons for that, and so that's kind of how I do it. For the IPOs, this one is coming out of the gate. I don't think this one is is viable right now. If you can look on the weekly chart, we already see this red bar. That means there's been selling. There's been more selling than buying. I would stay out of Nerd Wallet right now. I would stay out of Nerd Wallet because I don't think it's I don't think it's set up well. I think you need to wait probably about 3 months. So keep it on your watch list. That's definitely important. But I'd wait on that one a little bit. Now, Apollo Group, different story. This is extended. This one's extended, and of course it invests in mutual funds, and it's a big financial company, very, very well known. I don't really like a lot of these investment management companies. I know that I should, but right now this is so-so. The relative strength is good, 92. The checklist is passable, 67, so that's good. I mean, you could definitely buy this one here, but let's do a little fundamental analysis first, because that's that's important too, to kind of get an idea of where things are going long term. If on the fundamental analysis, let's take a look at this. Our sales were down the first quarter; they're up 6% the second quarter, but our profits are down. So I don't really like that. We just came through earnings. Our earnings were off 9%. Not a good place to buy it. I just would not buy. I wouldn't buy this one. So I would don't buy this one. Apollo, APO. So I don't think you can buy. I don't think you can buy this one. It's just, on the fundamental analysis, that kind of thing, I like to see everything congruent here. I like to see an upward trending chart. I like to see, not only do I like to see an upward trending chart, I like to see good fundamentals. This has okay fundamentals. The chart action is extended. It's got good relative strength. So I would pass on this one. It just isn't strong enough for me. I just wouldn't do it. That's my kind of take on it. That's my take on it. All right, let's look at Netflix. Another good. This is the FANG. This is the N in FANG, and it's extended, but it's still doing great. Now, what do I mean by extended? Let's go to the daily chart to see. All right, extended means that there's these things called pivots, and this one is slightly below 600. It's about 590 or so. That's really, you want to buy it as it's moving through that pivot, not necessarily on the pivot, but as it's moving through that. Well, it's definitely done that, and it's moving higher. So right now, with Netflix, it's too extended to buy. So this one, this is not a good place to buy it. It's a good stock. It's a great stock. Not a good place to buy it. So here's the thing with Netflix. You just got to hold, and I would not be, I just wouldn't be a buyer. But, great stock, bad entry point, watch list for now. So I mean, really, that's the that's the real thing. I'm gonna put this all in here correctly. Yeah, so I would watch this one right for now. This is a great stock. I mean Netflix is one of the best stocks out there, but right now this is just not a good action. This is not a good action on it. It's extended. You see, it's extended above that buy point. So it's see what will happen is if you buy it too far above this buy point, it has a tendency to pull back to the buy point. So you could buy it up here, you're buying the best stock, and then it could just come all the way back down to there, and then it could continue its upward trend. It's still an upward trend, but it's extended. So I would not buy this stock at the level that it's at. I just wouldn't. All right. I want to show you kind of an interesting trade that you might be interested in. I'm going to kind of take a little break here and show you a trade that I have here. Let's put it up. This is the second chance trade on Zillow. And Zillow, and this is kind of, if you want to find out more about this, of course, you can you can definitely, you can definitely pull this up on line. I'll give you the link for it. But let's pull it up here. Okay, great. So I'm just changing around the book. I'm changing it around so we can see this on the screen here. So basically, this is kind of a. I did a spread. I did a bear put spread on Zillow the other day, and it was very successful because, as you probably have been, and if you've been watching the news, you'll know that Zillow has been having some real issues. Basically, what's happened with Zillow is that they were in the house flipping business, and then they decided, oops, all of a sudden now they've got to sell all their houses. They're selling tons of houses in certain markets like Phoenix and Salt Lake and the Inland Empire of California. And so the market for some of their properties is weakening. So they made a huge mistake, and they're starting to liquidate some of their stock. So there's a way to take advantage of this. And of course, the stock market doesn't have to be going up all the time, or stocks don't have to be going up all the time for you to benefit on a stock. Now, here's a trade that I entered today. So basically, the way it works is you're simultaneously buying a put and you're simultaneously selling a put on with the same expiration date, as you can see, 18th of February. Now, today, I bought one contract of the 65 put. This is the February 2022 65 put, basically allowing me to put something at 65 for $9.65. That's what it cost me. Or, because you traded in 100 lots of shares, $965. But I offsetted that purchase price by selling simultaneously a 50 put for $2.58. And that was, then this is quite a fairly large spread. It's a 15 point spread. And the total out of my pocket was $707. Now, what is the likelihood of this happening? Well, if Zillow is above 57.93 by February 22nd, well, I'll start to lose money. But if it's below that, I will make money. So I'm willing to take that bet. I think that's a fairly good bet because it's very likely that Zillow will continue to fall. So basically, as Zillow falls, you can see this spread trade will eventually end up with more money. If it goes down to where I think it's probably going to go down to, it's about $55. You see, I'll make a very good return on that $700. So potentially, this could be a very nice trade. If you'd like to find out more about it, of course, and that's the chart. And I want to show you, this is the earnings whisper. This shows you the pivots. You can go to, and I think, did I put it in there? No, I didn't. I didn't. I'm sorry, I didn't put it in there. But there is a. See if I can put. Let's see if it'll let's see if I have it still in the cache. Hopefully, I have it in the cache that you can actually go and see this deck. So let's put that in there. Let's see if I can do that. All right. Yes, I still have that. That's good. Always good when that works. If you want to see this trade in fully, just go to this address here on the screen, synfox.com/LP3QP60G. So you might want to write that down if you're interested in this trade. This is the second chance bear put spread on Zillow, so you might be interested in this one. Also, if you want to see this trade and you are looking on TikTok, super easy to do. Just go to my profile, click on the link that says Beacons, and you'll see this trade. Well, I think I have time for one more question. And thank you very much. I didn't get to everybody. Boy, I tell you, it's let's look at Microsoft, one of my all-time favorite stocks, by the way. This stock, has been very good to me over the years, and it's financed definitely some of my lifestyle. So I definitely like Microsoft. Here's what's happening right now. Microsoft is extended. The correct buy point on Microsoft really occurred. The last time we really were at the correct buy point really was about in the end of October. So from basically the sort of the last week of October, sort of the second week of October to the end of October, it was in an ideal buying range. Right now, Microsoft is extended. It's extended basically above, as you can see. Really, you only want to buy Microsoft basically in this range here, from about this 305 level up to about this level here, about you want to buy it basically in this level on up to about 311. So about 305 to 311 is the buy range. Unfortunately, with Microsoft, we are extended. So here's the thing, whereas Apple is buyable today, Microsoft is a watch list. So here's the thing with Microsoft, you just got to wait until you get a better you get a better base. So right now, MSFT is extended, not a good place. All right. And the reason it isn't, of course, is because when you can, this is the old saw. You can buy the right stock, but if you don't buy it at the right place, then it can pull back. So really, the correct place to have bought Microsoft from about 305 to about 311 or so, and then it's pulled up above that. But eventually, it's probably going to form a base, and we'll get another shot at it. But right now, it's not time to buy Microsoft. It's time to buy Apple, if you're looking at the two big ones, because Apple is at a buy point. Apple is at a buy point as we speak. It's right in the buy zone. So, so so right now, buy Apple instead of Microsoft. And really, they're both great stocks. They're absolutely both great stocks. But the thing is, why would we be buying Apple over Microsoft? Well, because of the setup. It has to do with the chart pattern. It has to do with the likelihood that this is going to get support at 153. We're at 153, and this is a good time to buy Apple if you want to get into a very nice mega cap stock that's very good. Now, it hasn't been, since the third week of August up until now, Microsoft hasn't really been a good place it hasn't been really that good to buy, but it's right now in a buy zone. So sometimes this is what they call the basing period. It'll come up, it'll make a new high, and then, like everything else, it takes time. So that's where it made its high, and really, so it had to go all this way. It had to go all this way here until it formed a base. So it formed this base, and now it's ready to buy. So stocks are kind of, they sleep for a while, and then they wake up, and you want to buy them just as they wake up. That's kind of the way it is. All right, one last question, and thanks for listening to my yammering here. Can you look at Lucid? Let's look at Netflix. Neo. No. Oh, this is one I haven't done much on. MTTR. Let's look at this. And this will be the last stock at least for today. MTTR. And this is interesting. This is one of the. I've heard about this company. I don't know much about it. I'll be honest. I don't know much about it. I got a tip. Thank you very much, by the way, Wendy in Calgary. Thank you for showing me this one. She sent me this one this morning to look at, and I looked at it, and it is extended, but I still like the stock. So the correct buy point 1727 on this one. It is extended, but the question is, could we possibly buy this one? Well, it's got a 67 checklist. I'm going to watch this one. I'm going to keep it I'm going to take a close look at this one because I like this one. I like the way it's trending. You know, I like a lot of the stuff about it. It just doesn't have a really good place to buy it. Here's how I would buy this one. I think it's going to pull back down to 25, and if it does, then we possibly have a bounce higher. So this is kind of what I'd be looking for here. It's a little bit extended here. Actually, it's a lot extended because from there, basically, you know, it's only going to allow us up. You know, that's really where you should buy it, and that's all in the base here, so you can't buy it there. So it's extended right now, but I would definitely watch this. It's a very interesting stock. But right now, I have to say, you know, it's extended. You know, MTTR is extended, so I would watch list for now. All right, so that's kind of how I would do it. I would watch this one for now, and see if we can get it to go up higher. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching today. If you want to get on the action trailer, it's very, very easy to do. All you have to go is to www.Dow's Trading Floor. So that's, you know, we always recommend that you go to that and get onto the action trailer. It's www.Dow's Trading Floor. I'll be back tomorrow at 3:30. 4:30 Central. Happy trading, everybody. I hope everyone is doing well out there. It's good. We're coming into a nice fall. I do believe that these next few weeks have a lot of profit potential. I think we're looking very, very good. And so just hang in there. You know, watch my show, hopefully for ideas. And we're going to make some money together. So everybody. And I just wanted to just to say, you know, if you're down more than 7% on any position, consider selling it, because there's a lot of good setups right now. You know, why waste your time on money losers? Go for the money winners, and we're gonna do very good things. By the way, please like my if you're on YouTube, please like it because that gets it out to more people, and also subscribe if you can. That would be great. Super appreciate it. So until tomorrow at 3:30 Central, happy trading.